Hello, everyone. Yes, sorry about that. Let me plug in my headset here because it's almost dying. Sorry for the delay. Unfortunately, I've been waiting for as long as I possibly could because Evelyn, who's currently still listed as an essential worker, has not been able to get out on time, and has messaged saying that she would probably be around 10 minutes late. We're now going almost 15, unfortunately. We are going to get started. Everyone else is here, so I will apologize in advance for the webcams running along the bottom being a little fucked up. I should really have a setup for if someone's missing, like if Evelyn's missing. So we've got the four webcams there. I'm hopefully get that set up at some point. Other than that, we are good to go. So I'll go ahead and bring everyone else in. Hello, guys.
Ahoy.
Hey.
So yeah, it's all fucked up at the bottom. I can only apologize for that, but hopefully we'll get everything. Thank you, car, whatever you were.
Green flag racing, boys. Yee yee.
Ugh. Yeah, thank you for making lots of noise. I hate living on the high street. Well, I don't, but I do. Anyway, everyone here other than David, who's just poddled off into the back there for the time being. Everyone here and good to go?
Nice fetching a drink.
Yep.
Don't mind it.
Right.
So I was turning the sound down on the stream.
Cool. Anyway, last time we played, you guys had been collected by Bizet and Anil from the Terran plane via plane shift and taken to the Ramiel estate on the Oran plane, where you had a very interesting introduction to most of Coralina's siblings before having a awkward afternoon meal with the Ramiel family, being introduced to Coralina's father, and being able to see some of the siblings that you hadn't actually interacted with before. Speak of the devil, here she is.
Hello, hello.
You're late. Don't worry about it. We're just going through the recap. Before Anil, being the uppity prick that he is, oh no, and she's gone. Right, we'll continue. She'll be here soon. But yes, Anil challenged you, Coralina, to a duel outside in the courtyard to try and prove how much stronger his school of evocation was in comparison to your school of conjuration. In said duel, you did manage to get off a pretty hefty hit on him, but releasing one of his most stronger spells against you, the disintegration ray, you were knocked unconscious, and he did add one to his record, going 77 for 0. Before Nethtari challenged him to a duel, considering that he was already weakened and taking the opportunity, Anil cast 8th level power word stun on you, Nethtari, pumping his record up to 78 0. After the dueling had finished, you all retired to your evenings, retired to your bedrooms for the evening, where a certain two individuals got busy, and I rolled a D100 and a D20, determining on a certain roll to determine whether or not certain things happened. And that's where we left off. So we're going to start with the start of the morning. Sorry, I can't speak at the moment. Start off fresh in the morning. It's a brand new day. There's a gentle flow of wind with a smell of somewhat salty, like almost seawater, salt water, flowing with a gentle breeze through the open windows as you're all basked in the gentle morning light as the sun starts to rise. Yes, everyone can go ahead and roll a long rest if you would like. So, what does everyone want to do?
just quickly, I would have spent any surplus time I had apart from meditation, reading my book.
Okay.
Likewise.
So that would have been another 4 hours. So that'd be 8 hours. So you should be down to about 40 hours.
I had 6 last time,
6
down
and
to
then 10.
38 now.
So yeah, so
38
it's 38. Yeah, so
remaining.
38 hours remaining. Yeah. And which book was it for yourself, Temple?
It was the one learning the dragon language.
Learning the Draconic language. Cool. Well, I mean, technically speaking, you don't need sleep. So if you're out in the hallway keeping a guard but just reading that, you will get a full 8 hours of studying the Draconic
What,
language.
every few minutes Temple moves to flip a page and then back to sentry?
Flip,
Yeah.
No, it's just flip, glance up. Nothing. Alright, let me keep studying. Flip page, glance up. Because, I mean, technically speaking, I mean, you do have your sentry's rest that makes you
Also,
immobile.
I don't even glance. You don't know where my eyes are looking. I don't have eye pupils.
Well,
It's just
there's
crystals.
that, but you do need to like
Yeah.
look down and.
This word seems interesting. I will ask Vic about this one later.
But yeah, it does say like when you take a long rest, you must spend at least 6 hours in an inactive state rather than sleeping. In the state, you appear inert, but it doesn't render you unconscious. You can see and hear as normal. So, I mean, technically speaking, yes, like you should be inert and unmoving. But I'll say like every so often, just a quick flip of a page. That's not like rendering you completely, removing you from a long rest. So we'll still give you your long rest.
Question about my anatomy. Can my head rotate fully like an owl?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, okay.
Because I can just imagine you like standing facing
Just
facing a
spinning.
wall, and then your head just like slowly spinning around, and then staring at people awkwardly as they walk into the hallway and scaring people. No, we're not gonna do that.
Temples on back to front help.
All right, so we'll start with you, Vic, since you'll be awake from your you'll be aware from your meditation after
Just
only 4
let me
hours.
say one thing before we continue. Please excuse me if I'm coughing because I'm just a bit ill at the moment.
You're
Hopefully
dying from
nothing
corona.
serious. Hopefully not. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine, but it's been like 8 days of this cough now. So I've been having to self-isolate.
Shit.
So much for Warforged being immune to disease and all that, eh?
Yeah, that's very true. Do you have like a runny nose or anything like that? Do you have a headache as well?
Sometimes.
Okay, because
I do have a runny nose, sore throat, and for a few days I had a light fever, but I'm fine.
Okay, well, runny nose is a sign of a cold rather than
I know.
corona, so
I always have a
hopefully-
runny nose, though.
hopefully. Anyway, Vic, is there anything that you would like to do in the early hours of the morning before everyone else wakes up, since you only need your 4 hours meditation?
No, like I say, any spare time I've got will be used on practicing
On
and
the-
reading my manual.
Reading the book, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just wait until I hear other people moving about
Alright.
before I finish up with that.
Coralina and Neftari, what about you guys?
So no one walked in on us then?
No one walked in on you. I rolled, but no one's walked in on you.
Ah, I was
Well, I mean, that's
expecting.
Player 3 has entered the game.
Player 3 definitely did not enter the game.
Okay.
So
Well, do you
what are
stay the
guys
night?
doing?
Somebody's running up.
I mean, sorry, did you stay the night, or did you leave to your own bedroom after the act?
I don't know. Let's roll.
Alright, high or low?
Hi.
Hi, that is a 50,
Is it?
so that would be a no. You stayed.
Okay. So you back sleeper, side sleeper, what?
I don't know.
I can imagine him being the big spoon.
Big
I don't know.
That is true.
Sometimes dudes want a jetpack.
That is
Mm.
sure.
Don't
In
knock
that
it till
case,
you try it.
yeah, the Charlie will probably have to go again in the morning then.
Wait, say that again?
Morning, Nookie.
Go again.
Jesus. Okay.
Okay, if you guys are going for it, both you go ahead and roll me performance. Jesus fucking
Okay.
Christ. Oh, I fucking hate you guys.
Bingo.
Motherfucker just really wants to get caught. He's an exhibitionist.
Well, he just went and rolled a 6 on his performance, so...
From my state of sentry, do I hear any signs of distress coming from any of the other players' rooms? Just completely
Okay,
unrelated.
I got a
Go
4.
ahead and roll me a perception check, Temple.
Jesus.
You can hear sounds of distress or something coming from Coralina's room. You're not exactly sure what it is. Coralina, odd or even?
Even.
Cool. High or low?
Hi?
Hello.
All right. Temple, as you're like listening in to the strange sounds that appear to be coming from Coralina's room, you do actually hear footsteps also approaching, coming from the stairwell immediately down the hallway, as it looks to be one of the Ramiel siblings is coming up the stairs with a tray. On that tray, what you can see is like loaded with a small kettle with a couple of cups and what looks to be like a sugar and such on the tray before he kind of walks to the door, stops, leans in and listens before gently placing the tray down on the ground, kind of like worms his fingers in between like all of his fingers in between each other before turning around and abruptly walking away.
I wonder why they left their refreshments on the ground like that. Anyway, it sounds like they're fighting bandits again in there. But they got them last time. I think there was a goat too. They're going to want refreshments after all that fighting. And I'm not going to be a glory hog. Temple says out loud to himself to let them continue.
Okay. I'm just trying to think about how I'm going to get around this now.
The human ritual of sleeping is so very strange.
Extremely, even though the two individuals are not human, but still. We'll say it's about 5-10 minutes after the fact.
Yeah, we both rolled pretty low, so
Yeah,
Give
it's not.
Give them some credit. Come on.
No, absolutely not. They rolled between them an average 5. No, absolutely not. So yeah, it wasn't as good as the night before. Wasn't as passionate. It was just a spur of the moment thing, and it's over as quickly as it began.
Are we in the
I
realm
mean,
of
she could
too
still be
much
sore from last
information?
time.
So say that again, Temple.
Are we in the realm of too much information at the moment?
I definitely
Skipping
am.
rope with that line.
Yeah, you very much are. And what did you say, Coralina?
She could still be sore from the night before.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Even though you guys rolled pretty shit on your performance checks from last night as well.
Yeah,
an
see?
average 12.
Mistakes were made.
Anyway, last night was definitely better, but hey ho.
The morning routine's a little bit new to her.
All right, so Victoria, so you want to do anything now as I just swiftly move away from that scene?
Yeah. So would I've heard Temple talking and possibly footsteps in the hallway?
You can go ahead and roll me an active perception check. If you're like, actually, don't bother. Passive of 21. Nah, but yeah, you would have heard the footsteps and the the rattling of utensils on a tray being placed somewhere, and the mumbling from Temple aloud in the hallway. Definitely.
So assuming that means people have started to wake up, I'm gonna leave my room and walk down to see Temple.
Call high or low?
Low.
Look at you, that's a 57. As you step into your room, you notice the tray with the what looks to be like a kettle or a pot of tea with some condiments and like spoons and such on it, just outside Coralina's room. Before disregarding that, I'm walking down to the end of the hallway. Temple is there as centered state, more not really just stood upright, but kind of I'd say like either sat on a chair, or at least leaned back on the wall with the book of the Dummy's Guide to Draconic essentially in his hand that he's been reading throughout the night.
Oh, it's just you, Temple. I thought I heard voices.
Would you like some tea, Victoralis?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
There's some there on the floor in front of that room.
Yes, I saw that. Oh well, I suppose
one of the siblings of Coralina came upstairs and overheard the same banging I can hear, and just put it down there on the ground.
Are they fighting goats again?
I would suspect as much.
Well, they're persistent, those things. I'm going to walk over, I'm going to pour myself a cup of tea, put everything back on the tray and take my cup away. Walk down the hallway.
Yeah. Where are you heading down? Heading back to Temple, or are you heading down to the main hallway? Like the main foyer?
I'll head down to Temple. I'll just wait with Temple in the hallway. Just sipping my tea.
Alright. Well,
how are you getting on with that book, Temple? Good read?
It's going quite well, very informative. I'm able to get quite a lot done during.
Yeah, likewise. I'm doing a bit of reading myself.
Can I practice on you? How's my Draconic?
Yeah. Of course. What?
I'm going to say the cat sat on for Matt in Draconic.
Okay.
How well do I do? I'm starting baby steps.
Go ahead and roll me a performance check at disadvantage.
Okay.
I mean, you remember, you've only just started really digging into this book to learn, so... 8. You got a few words right, but yeah, you've still got a long way to go yet.
I think I'll just continue to test Temple on Draconic phrases and make idle chit chat until anything else happens.
In that case, Temple, go ahead and roll me a d4. 2. With Victorilus, kind of challenging you to learning stuff and correcting you when you make mistakes over the next short period of time, you can deduct another 2 hours from your total of learning through the book.
Should I be keeping track of that?
Yes, because it needs to be 48 hours over 7 days. So if you're that's why you haven't actually completed it yet, since Victorious has given you the book, because you've not been reading it over the span of time. So you need to keep on top of it. So 48 hours. So you minus 10, you're now at 38 hours over the next 6 days. If you don't complete those 38 hours in the next 6 days, you'll be starting all over again.
Okay.
Or essentially anything that you've got left over, like so. If you don't complete the next 38 hours in the next 6 days, you'll have 10 hours to go the day after that, and then it'll just keep adding and adding and adding.
Yeah, I did do the previous night. I have done a bit before. This isn't my first time doing it. Although I don't mind, to be fair, because I'm going to crew this just while I'm in sleep mode anyway.
Anyway, we'll move back over to Neftari and Coralina. What you guys want to do after your morning romp?
I mean, after he rolls off of her?
Basically, yeah.
Do we need to give, like, time in between those? That was a little rough.
Maybe. Get washed.
Yeah, right there, or you can go your
Maybe in
own
my
room.
own room?
Just make sure you're not seeing, because that would probably be terrible.
Yeah, what would happen there?
I mean,
Let's not think about it.
Alright, I got time for one factory.
like I said, I'm still a little bit tired, so I guess I'll go into my own bathroom and clean up and get ready for the day.
All right. Neftari, are you making your way across the hall to your own room to get cleaned up for the day?
Go get cleaned up, then join them in the hall.
All right, cool. Hi, hello, Neftari.
Hello?
Wow. Yeah, as you step out, you notice Victorious and Temple far down the hallway. You kind of glance your way and acknowledge you being there before you kind of like slowly and embarrassingly make the essentially the walk of shame across the hall to your own bedroom. Victorious and Temple, go ahead and roll me perception checks. 10, 25. Victorious, you don't see anything, but you do hear the sound of creaking floorboards moving away from your general direction. Sounding like someone has just walked away from the hallway which your bedrooms have been assigned.
I was just going to call out, "Good morning." I'll just carry on with sipping my tea and helping Temple with his draconic.
No response from the individual or creature walking away from you that you weren't unable to see. Anyone got anything else they want to do in the meantime? Or do you want to fast forward to regrouping for breakfast?
Any spare time I've got, I'll either be helping Temple or I'll be reading my own books. So,
okay.
I'm good.
Well, yeah, for the time being, like, once everyone has gotten cleaned up and is ready, you all regroup in the hallway and make your way down to the grand hall where you guys had your dinner, but it's less formal this time. You can see some of the siblings are scattered around in different tables having their own breakfast. No sign of Lord Ramiel at the moment, but yeah, you've got access to a multitude of different things, like different servings. There's bread, there's toast, cheeses, eggs, variants of different meats. It seems that most of the kind of deep grey skinned servants that you'd seen the night before are there available for you to serve you whatever needs you have for breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Find myself a seat. Fetch myself a princely breakfast.
Okay. Everyone else, you guys joining Victorious?
Yeah, I would have ritual casted for Barkley again,
Okay.
so he can at least hang out for a bit.
Yeah, you're
Dad said no familiars at the dinner table. He said nothing
This is
about
breakfast. I'm well aware. I was going to say that. You don't need to worry. But yes, casting the expending the spell slot, you are able to
it's ritually casting.
oh yeah,
I'll just wait for
ritual
10
cast.
minutes.
10 minutes, fair enough. You are able to bring Barkley out. With a plume of brown feathers, he does appear, flies around you for a short period of time before landing on your shoulder, and just kind of doesn't really nuzzle in, but does kind of like look over to you, and then glances over to Neftari, and then just kind of maintains his composure. Sorry, I can't speak. As you make your way into the breakfast hall.
He's aware of his surroundings. He needs to behave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna again not sit at the table and eat as if I was a member of the party, but rather stand,
It's like
you know,
standing
again,
guard. Yeah.
against the wall, as if I was guarding Victoralis, really. Like specifically, if I was his guard to help with the whole
Ruse.
Is it a ruse though? But like, oh yeah,
I
sure.
mean, yeah,
It's
technically.
a half.
Yeah.
So as you all go in and take your seats, and Temple taking your position just behind Victorious, you manage to like order whatever it is that you're having for your breakfast before one of your siblings actually approaches you, Coralina. Glancing out the corner of your eye, you can actually see Nassim stepping out from the war room. Looks a little exhausted. Seems that he might, like, from what you can assume with your passive insight, you can assume that with everything that's been going on, with how hard pressed your father has been to try and find you, and with his ventures out within the Oran plane, trying to completely regain or maintain, that's the word I'm looking for, maintain his control of the estate and his armies. Nissim may be a little overworked with keeping an eye on everything. But yeah, he slowly approaches the table and sits just opposite you before just kind of snapping his fingers to one of the servants, and they bring over a plate of dried meats for him, which he just gets tucked into and kind of looks up to you. So you're finally home. It's
It would appear so.
I'm glad to see you're not dead. I did see you taking a what was it? It was some demonic thing. Didn't really
Yeah.
want that to be a true divination.
I mean, you were technically right. I mean, I just look back and I point at Temple. He helped a bit.
Well, I've been kind of glances around.
Fight lion.
I've been keeping an eye on you. Whenever I get some free time, I have been tapping into the prime material and seeing where you are and how you've been doing. That's why Bizet was able to find you the first time.
I appreciate you not telling Dad.
When I noticed that you were in the Terran plane, it was out of my control to have Father send Bizet and Anil to get you. It was just part of our regular thing. Father keeps having me scan the planes for you for any sign of you, and if we can find you, then we'll bring you home. Otherwise, it's just you're not in the plains, you're in the prime material or somewhere else. So it's none of our concern.
Have you been sleeping okay at all?
Somewhat. I've been having some bad dreams recently. Um, being divining, you kind of like for so long, it's almost like you start to divine in your sleep, and I've been seeing a lot of nasty things happening. I don't know where it is. It's not in any place I recognize, but I've been seeing some really bad things. I think it's just of being pressured into keeping an eye on everything that's going on here. I think it's just getting to me. Hopefully a full couple of nights sleep will clear it out. But I really don't know right now.
It wouldn't be an errant sorcerer trying to bring about the end of all the play by any chance, would it?
Yeah, can't hold up my dice at the moment. He kind of glances to you. So, why would you say something like that?
Well, it's just in the prime material. There's a certain guy who's keeps going on about the cleansing, and he stole the staff of Colossus. We don't know who's going to do it.
It's not the staff of Colossus, sir. The name of the staff was the staff of Carsus.
Ah, Carsus.
Ow! That'd be my Xbox controller hitting me on the toe. Damn it. He kind of glances to you and staff of Carsus. I've never heard of it. But what is this cleansing that you're talking about? I mean, if it means something, then maybe I am
The
divining
dead
in my
getting up
sleep.
and walking around.
The dead.
Yeah. Like what Nefel does, but on like a grander scale.
Yeah, you sure Nefel's not just letting some of her experiments loose?
Would she risk father's wrath?
This is a little more than a mere experiment, I'm afraid. Every being that died, as far as we were aware, of humanoid nature, seemed to resurrect on the continent.
They claim it's some kind of curse.
And where is it originating from?
Adding a thing where when you hit little
Inner Cry, and more specifically, my home city
you get worth going
of
seven.
Denversari.
All right, boys, no rushing.
Out of random curiosity, is this Denfasari doesn't have a large, like a grand, brilliant white palace in it at all?
Certainly used to.
His face just immediately drops as you inform him of that. Did they hold a like a market square out in front of the palace at all?
Certainly did.
Yeah, little fountain there. Big tall steps leading up to the entrance.
Excuse me. And he immediately stands up from the chair, and very briskly walks away through through the door leading to the war room, Coralina, and disappears, looking, having quite a disturbed look on his face.
Well, he's at least seen something, so it's either good or bad.
Yeah. He's
It's nice not to have to convince anyone anymore.
After speaking to your father last night, if he can confirm what we've told them,
Hey, he's got a thermal, bro.
maybe we will have some help.
I mean, Nassim doesn't play around when it comes to him seeing things.
All we've got to do now is convince
Uh,
your father that you're essential
out the door.
to resolving this, and you need to come with us. Simple.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it's so simple.
I'm
Alright.
still wondering whether this whole engagement ploy is actually worthwhile.
Look, I just had it as a plan just in case they started asking who you guys were. So apparently my dad shuts up at the word prince.
Oh,
It's only going to go so far, I'd imagine. Well, I suppose we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so you guys have had your breakfast, you've had your little run-in with Nassim, and in the time that you do finish your breakfast, you do notice that he doesn't actually return from the war room. You guys are free to explore the Ramiel estate as you see fit. So you guys, what's the plan?
oh shit! What?
Hmm.
I mean, that second part, maybe.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Thank you.
You sure about that, Dakota?
That what he said.
Yeah,
Sorry.
And fuck.
He's raiding right now.
yeah, he's
so-
playing Tarkov. We're aware. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
any plans
So-
for the day as you guys are going about?
I mean, I don't
Right
necessarily
there.
have any plans. I mean, other than figure out how to get out, which I may have an idea for.
Okay.
If Tyler's going to
So-
try and get a chance to read his book at some point, he's going to look for a secluded spot in the garden or something.
Okay.
Maybe a hammock.
Yeah, no, you're well. There's no real secluded spot. Like all of the areas in the garden, like there's the large grass plain that was there where you had your duel with Anil the day prior. But there are a lot of like divisions around that are sheltered with benches and such that kind of overlook the other floating islands that are around the Ramiel estate. So there's nothing secluded, so you'll never be truly private, but you can always find something that's like farther away than everywhere else that is not occupied that you could take to
Yo.
read
What's
your
your name?
book if you like.
Coralina, you said you had a plan?
It sounds stupid, but hear me out. So, I just have my bag of holding. I'm gonna put it on the table, open it up.
Mhm.
The mouth is about 2 feet wide, yeah?
About 2 feet, yeah.
Well, if your quiver works the same as my bag of holding, in theory, that long rifle you pulled out was about as tall as me.
Yep.
I can hold my breath indefinite.
Count.
I'm really good at it.
You're suggesting we put you into a bag of holding and walk out.
Coralina,
Basically,
surely
yeah.
there's a less dangerous way of doing things. Surely there's a diplomatic way of getting you out with permission. But we
Well,
won't be
if
hunted.
diplomacy doesn't work, it's always good to have a backup plan.
But a bag of holding, just what do you plan on holding on to?
I mean, I can cast fly. I can just hover in there.
DM, do I understand the full ramifications of a person being in a bag of holding? Can they just fly like that, or what are the risks involved? That's something I'd know.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check. Actually, the three of you can do that for me since Nethtar, you're away wanting to read your book, and we'll get to you in a few minutes. But the three of you can go ahead and roll me Arcana checks so you can understand what exactly is going to happen. So 16, 23, and 24. Yeah, no, you're all aware. So each individual item that is placed in a bag of holding or similar item
Oh, we left.
is sent to its own extra dimensional space. That's why
that
the
thing-
reason that you
oh, I
can put
can't
your
have
hand in and
it.
just think of a specific item and
Oh,
it
that
then
was
appears in
disgusting.
your hand is
Oh,
because they're
oh,
separated into their
gross.
own extra dimensional spaces. So you wouldn't need to fly or anything like that. Essentially,
see him?
you would just
Did you
be
see him?
you would enter the
I
bag of
just sit
holding.
there.
You would just sit there in your extra dimensional space.
He goes.
It would essentially just be nothingness, just blackness forever, without any air to breathe. So, well, with very limited air to breathe, and then that's it until someone reaches in and takes you out of the bag of holding, and you would just be in a suspended state of animation, but you'd be aware of it for the most part. So it is.
I mean, it's risky, but
It's
Well, it-
very risky and very doable.
What do we do with you once you're in the bag of holding?
I didn't even give a.
You know, there's the
I-
actual getting out bit that we need to consider, whichever way we go.
get Daddy's word in writing that he's gonna promise armies or something of that nature. Say, all right, that's swell. We're gonna go back to the prime material now. If you could send us back, that'd be great. And he could send you back, and then once we're on the other side, Daddy really can't do anything. And then you open up the bag of holding, think of me, and out I come.
And you understand, surely your father wouldn't approve of that if ever he found out, and certainly it's the first place he'd look should he realize you're missing, unless you have a doppelganger I'm not aware of. I'm not trying to rain on our parade, as I believe the idiot is.
I totally understand. Yeah, I can pull a couple of favors. I mean, one of my siblings is an illusionist. I don't know if she'll work with me, but
It's a short-term solution, though, isn't it? As Temple says.
oh, it definitely is.
And again, I stand with it. If we can figure out some sort of diplomatic way of father permitting you to leave, even if temporarily, then
Well,
we
if you-
can
if you
go
could-
about our business without being hunted down by people who could help us.
Well, if you can figure out a way to get me out from under my dad's thumb, that'd be great.
Who's the best at saying please?
I'm not.
Never been particularly good at that myself. Still, we can try.
Yeah, the worst he does is just throw me in a room where I can't use magic, or just rip my book away and say, "Go to your room." Yeah.
I'm not so sure of the idea of being on the run from what is effectively the Lords of the Air and Plane, and at the same time, Kenjo and all of his men and the other Kenjo, and there's got to be a way out of this that doesn't involve us being the most wanted adventuring party in all of the realms.
Like I said, if you can find a diplomatic solution, that'd be great. Because I mean, look, I've tried asking to go out before. I mean, you act like I haven't. I've spent years trying to do it, and either I go with Dad, or I go with Bizet, or Nassim, or Anil. But usually those don't usually last long. Hardly even a day.
Should things go really south, and for some reason your father doesn't want to transport us back to our own plane,
I mean, I could do it.
not if you're in a bag of holding,
Not if I'm in a bag of holding now.
just considering, teleportation circles, some kind of backup plan.
Yeah, as long as I know the code, and Temple gave me a ton of codes. I could take us back today if you want.
for now, I think maybe we should bide our time. I'm certainly in no rush to see what your father makes of all this, although he's probably going to find out a few facts for contemplation all at the same time. I might make myself scarce. I'm sure they'll let us know if we need to be seen.
Yeah. But, at least you have validity for, for Dad helping you, at least, it seems saying he's seeing stuff, then, yeah, it's pretty serious.
That's what I'm hoping he'll keep his attention on. But as I say, I'm sure he's a wise enough man to take his time over a big decision.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be out in the courtyard if anyone needs me. I'm gonna intend to go out to where they had the fight
Mm-hmm.
the evening before, assuming that's like allowed to kind of be used for physical exercise and stuff. Because my book says that she needs to practice the techniques that are in there as well as just read the book. So I'm gonna go and just occupy myself with that. Try to keep my mind clear and
Okay.
wait and see what happens.
Coralina and Temple, do you guys have anything in particular you want to do in the meantime, as you guys are planning your escape?
Well, I might see if I can go and brush up more on some spells, maybe, and try to get something new in, maybe.
Okay.
I'm
Would you
still
like
lacking.
to practice on me, Coralina, if that helps having a sparring target?
It'll
Help me practice my dodging also.
Okay, so you know how I summon elementals?
Yes, Cliff, of course, being my favorite, but don't tell the others.
Well, there's a couple you haven't met yet.
I'd
Gale
certainly
and
love
Cole.
to fight with them, if that's what you like.
Well, if you want, I might also need you in case one of them gets out of hand.
Oh, I see.
I'm
Certainly.
not quite as good with Cole yet. He doesn't take direction very well.
Cool.
That won't be a problem.
Okay. I guess we'll go out if Vic is occupying. Do we only have one of those fields?
No, well, the field itself is quite large, so you could, in theory, practice conjuring your other elementals while Vic is putting into practice his manual.
That's fine. That's fine. Is Anil around? I want to make sure he's not around.
Perception check.
Okay.
$12. Where is it? As you head out into the courtyard and see Vic making his way down to the field, you glance around and you do see Anil there, kind of up above you guys on one of the balconies, just on the same floor as the library, kind of looking, kind of staring at you, Coralina, before he glances over to Neftari. Back to you. And turns around and walks indoors and disappears.
Okay.
Which sibling was that?
That was Anil, the one that stunned you the day prior.
The one you threatened to throw a bottle at. Or you contemplate throwing a bottle at.
Yep.
Alright, well at least he's not watching now. So we'll go over and alright, like I said, this one's temperamental temple. So if you need to put him down, I have no problems with it. In fact, I might even help. As best I can.
No problem.
Alright.
You know me,
Fire
always looking
element.
forward to a fight, and certainly if it can help you develop your skills.
Okay,
Alright,
so
conjure
Conjuration,
elemental.
then.
yeah,
Coal.
you're conjuring coal. Are you just spending the minute cast
Yeah,
time?
I'm just spending the minute.
The 1 minute
Just,
casting.
just explaining, hey, he's temperamental, so yeah, we may have to put him down like a rabid dog.
Yeah, you reach into your component pouch and you grab some of the like a small pinch of sulfur that's in your component pouch, and you just hold it in your hand and put a lot of pressure on it, letting the heat from your hand build before you let it go. There's a few sparks as the sulfur ignites, and from your hand there's a as a large fire elemental appears before you all, kind of turns around and looks to you, and just kind of hunches over. Is like think of it like the magma titan from the Disney Hercules. How it's like one solid kind. It doesn't seem to have any legs. It's just like one solid base. Whereas Cliff was distinctively bipedal. Um, this one, it doesn't actually have any legs. It's essentially just a conflagration of a fire that connects to the floor. Kind of hunches over and looks to you in ignorance, like, you summoned.
Preemptively, as we're all preparing in case something happens, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith first level on Coralina to give +2 AC
Plus 2
in case
AC.
anything goes.
Cool. Expend your spell slot for that.
Yep.
Right, we're going to spar Cole.
Spar with
Yes.
him.
Yes.
If you command. Right. How are we gonna do this? Tell me. Coralina, go ahead and call high or low, please.
Hi.
Okay. And Temple, high or low.
Hi.
Okay. Sparring doesn't last too long. I'd say it's about half an hour of sparring. As you guys, as the elementals able to like sometimes able to grab you and heat up your metal form, dealing fire damage to you, in Temple. Being able to like dodge and dip between you, even sometimes managing to pass through you and slowly igniting, like singeing your hat and your cloak as you're going through, dealing hopefully not irreparable damage to your signature cloak and hat that you've been wearing for absolutely ever. You take a grand total of. I'm going to need your phone for this, actually. Where's my dice roller? Cool, there it is. So you're going to be taking.
This fight, as far as I'm just concerned, just to clarify, the point of this sparring, it's to help with Coralina's control over the elemental, and for me, it's like my focus has been trying to dodge.
Yeah.
Things like that. I'm not trying to kill this. I'm trying to.
I know.
Yeah.
So you take 25 plus 25 plus 22 is 47 total fire damage over the half hour that is spent dodging out of the way and like trying to assist Coralina in maintaining control of her of the elemental. Coralina, I want you to go ahead and roll me 3 Constitution saving throws.
Okay. One second. And third.
10, 13, 17. So to begin with, as Cole is engaging Temple in combat, your concentration is you're struggling. Your mind keeps wandering to Anil, why he was kind of watching you from afar before disappearing, being very suspicious. But you manage to regain your composure, and 20 minutes in, it's still a bit difficult, but you're managing to keep control of Cole. And then about half an hour after, it's no issue for you. You're able to fully control your fire elemental and issue him commands without any kind of
No backsass from Cole?
no backsass or refusal to work, to obey your commands.
Well, he listens better.
Is it warm in here? I'm not on fire, am I? How's the
You're
condition
not.
of my hat?
You're slightly singed. Your hat's slightly singed. I'm sorry.
The feather is
No,
gone.
no. That was a lot of fun. Oh, I'm gonna have to replace this feather.
Yeah, the feather is gone. Like, it's incinerated.
I'm sure there's plenty of avian varieties that you can choose from.
Wasn't it a big ostrich feather or something really flamboyant?
It was like, I think it was like a big ostrich or like a peacock like feather.
I think it was an
Something
ostrich feather.
really flashy and big. I can't remember what it was. It was that long ago.
It's okay. We can get you a new one. But thank you.
No, not a problem. It was fun practicing my dodging. I generally just tank everything.
All right.
It's
With that, we're going to move back over to Neftari. Now, Neftari, I would like you to go ahead and roll me a history check as you're reading through this book on beast hide heritage.
I was going to say, imagine he'd open it on the first page and then find it as a history book. It has very scientific terms. It's very dry and very difficult to read. And he's going to get past the contents and start reading the introduction and realise he's way out of his depth with this book. I can roll a history check to confirm it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll and we'll see if it 12. Yeah, no, there's a lot of words, a lot of big words, and very little pictures.
Pictures.
It's not really. It's not something that you would read. Maybe one of the others, if like they would find it more interesting to read it and then explain it all to you. But for the most part, no, it's just.
Yeah.
There's no pictures in it.
So he's going to get up and he's going to try and find his way back to the library.
Okay. Yeah. As you're walking by, you can see Victorless doing some very elaborate, like kind of essentially aerobic and exercises. Seems to be like stretching out and getting quite limber. From what you can assume is getting ready to exercise essentially.
He's in Warrior 1 pose at the moment.
What's that one? That's the
Not
one
a mistake.
where bend and no, I don't fucking know. And you can see Coralina and Temple almost seemingly like they're in combat. Temple just kind of dodging out of the way of a fire elemental that you can assume is of Coralina's conjuring. As she looks to be straining herself trying to maintain control of this creature. Sorry, voice crack. Trying to maintain control of this creature. Before you make your way back into the main foyer of the estate and head up the stairs, following the remembering where Coralina had taken you before. as you head up towards the library. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. 24. As you're not even into the hallway of where the leads into the front of the main door for the library, and you can already hear what sounds like two voices. One the shouting essentially, at the top of their lungs. The other one kind of responding very quietly, very gentle.
Can't tell where these voices are coming from.
It sounds like they're coming from the library.
And do I have any idea who it might be?
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check at disadvantage. It's been a day. You're still struggling to put names to faces. On a 16, one voice does stand out, and it's the obvious voice of Anil, because this is the prick that was threatening Coralina, that beat Coralina, that stunned you, that you wanted to bottle. It's like you can tell it's Anil. The other one, you're not too sure, but there's a solid chance that it was the brother who stayed in the library last time.
Yep. I imagine the one doing the shouting is.
Yeah, it's Anil. Yeah, you can hear his voice from a mile away.
Is it in common or?
It's in common, yeah.
Try to get closer, but quietly, so I don't make too many stairs creak.
Okay.
Just want to have
Stealth
a
check.
listen to what they're saying.
Stealth check, please. $13. All right. As you make your way up, the stairs do kind of creak a few times. You kind of hope that no one's heard you, but hopefully, probably not, since Anil seems to be doing quite a lot of shouting as you make your way into the hallway to the point where you can hear them. You do catch into the shouting match mid conversation. You just hear Anil. Now I know what I saw out there, brother. Now I don't care if we have the same father. Your mother and my mother are two different people. We are two different people. They are two different people. We are two different people. Now you're going to tell me what you witnessed this morning to confirm my suspicions. I didn't hear a thing. I brought Coralina some tea this morning. She liked the tea when she was here before. There's what sounds to be like a fist slamming down on a table desk, like a desk or a table. Like, don't defend her. You have to realize, Alphonse, that if Father finds out something is going on between Coralina and one of the others, then he's going to have to be made aware of it. You understand that? I'm aware, but she and the prince were getting quite close from what I overheard, and it means that they may have been having an intimate moment in the morning. Now, you know that can't be true. The prince was speaking to the Warforged when I saw them this morning in the hallway. It was the other one that I didn't see. Well, I can't say for sure who was with who, but I know Coralina understands her father and her needs and what father expects of her. don't defend her, Alphon, you know what'll happen to you. He may be our father, but you're a bastard just like I am. You will hurt. Do you understand me? I don't know what you're talking about. I would like you to leave. Or what? And what if I decide to fireball your collection here? Incinerate all of your books that you lord over so much. You may be smarter than me, Anil, but I'm a wizard just like you. You may, Nastari, as you're listening to this, I can counterspell you just as many times as you can cast your spells. I will defend my collection, but I'd like you to leave, please. You're just like she is. Weak. Just wait until Father hears about this. Now, Coralina has his true heir is sleeping around. I'd be so thrilled. You may tell him that, Anil, but that is not necessarily true. You don't know as much as I do. And you know more, do you? No, but you're jumping to a conclusion that she's sleeping around. That's not necessarily true. We'll see. As you hear footsteps approaching you, Neftari, go ahead and roll me a stealth check at advantage. Evan. Yeah, as you kind of lean in and see the two brothers of Coralina, Anil striding towards you and Dalphon in the back, looking very flustered, very agitated. You kind of dart back to the side of the door frame as Anil storms through, stops in the hallway and glances around, and then makes his way down to walking past you, hence back down to the main foyer where you entered the estate.
Okay, when he's out of earshot, I mumble to two can play that game.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to do?
I will make myself visible again and go into the
You head in. Dalphon is there, kind of. He still looks quite agitated as he turns away, as he's turned away from you. From what you can tell, he's very kind of hunched up, kind of like keeping to himself as he kind of turns around and looks at you. Hello there. Did you manage to read your book? Are you here to return it?
I'm here to return it, but it was a bit much for me. But you said you read it and you memorized it?
Memorized most of it. I don't know it word for word, but I can tell you most of the information if you would like me to.
Well, I've got a few questions then. I don't know any other beast hide, and I think I am one. It's what people keep calling me. Would you say that's my species?
I can't say for sure just looking at you. What I could do, if you'd like, is I could run a test to confirm if you are truly a beast had.
What does that involve?
It involves a blood sample. I, I'm known to dabble in the alchemical arts. I can take some of your blood and run a test on it, and if it confirms you are a beast hat, I can let you know what a beast hat is, and it can explain your heritage. Otherwise, it may prove you are not a beast hat, and we can figure. I can help you figure this out.
Okay. I offer my arm. Do it. I don't know where I come from.
You offer your arm, and he kind of like reaches into his back and pulls out essentially like a doctor's scalpel. Runs a hand over your arm before just drawing out your fingers so that they're just outstretched, and just nicks your index finger with the scalpel. Kind of sets it aside on the table gently before going into his back, like a side pouch, and pulling out like a small, like, a very small beaker essentially. Presses on your finger to let loose a couple of drops of blood, and wipes it clean and hands you a rag. And now just hold on to that and pinch your fingers. It'll help stop the bleeding. Kind of swirls the beaker around. This will take me a few hours to go through and thoroughly test. If you'd like, I can send you a message to you to let you know that the test is finished, and you can return if you'd like.
Okay. Do you know much about these beast hide? You've read the book. What are the different clans, different types, or what?
They mainly all share the same traits, but they are different in nature. I I think it'd be best for me to do the test first and let you know if like what resides within you, like your nature, before I go into too much detail. It's a lot of information.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll leave that book here for now. It was, like I say, it was just a bit too much.
Of course, if there's anything in else in the library that you'd like to read, please let me know, and I will get it for you. And again, so long as you return it before you leave, I'd be happy to provide those to you to borrow.
Okay, it's okay for now, and I'll see you later. And thanks for sticking up and your sister.
I'm sorry.
Before, to Anil.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anil, I don't. He kind of starts to lock up at the mention of the conflict between him and his brother.
He's going to leave, and
As you,
just wink at him knowingly as he leaves.
and kind of just looks up to you and forces a smile, but you know you get a smile from him as you walk out of the library and leave, as he begins to work his alchemical magic. With that, we will kind of shift back to Coralina and Temple. Is there anything else that you guys are wanting to do after you've done your testing with the coal?
Yeah. Well, he seems to at least listen to me now, which is good. There were very little insults thrown.
Was there ever a risk he just would refuse to fight in a combat situation?
Oh no, he used to turn on me.
Oh, are you sure he's good now?
Well, I mean, it could be just that he's gotten extra.
I don't know, man.
You're aware of how fire works, right?
Yes, it's generally
It looks good.
chaotic.
I can tell.
Yeah. So,
It looks like there was
when he has more oxygen, he can burn a little better. Orange Plains full of it, so he's actually a little bit stronger here.
Oh, interesting. Is there
know,
something you can do to bring out that power during combat in the prime material?
Bond refresh.
Like a breeze, a light breeze.
I mean, a light breeze can maybe help, but like just I guess fueling him more in general. I don't know. I'd have to work on it. Maybe we'll have to figure that out when we get back.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad I could help.
Yep, I'll dismiss Cole.
Yes, I'm going to lay on hands the missing HP, which was 47.
Yeah.
So I guess if we can figure all this out, and you know, when Vic gets done with whatever he's doing, we can at least try to figure some of this mess out.
Shall we go and find Vic, or would you like to spar some more, perhaps with one of your other conjurations?
He's just over there doing what? I'm not completely certain, but
can I see Victor Alice from where I'm stood?
I'm over here.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, it's like that. I'm over here.
I was about to say, I will wave excitedly.
Yeah, just off to the side as you glance over, you just see an arm out from the distance just wave and flag you guys down.
I'm actually just doing one of the advanced articulation poses from my book.
But yeah, Victorious is there nearby.
Over here.
Okay. Oh, I guess we can stride over.
Yeah.
Should I be joining them about this?
We'll say yeah. It's about this time that you've finished in the library. Make your way down back into the outside with the rest of your companions. I can't speak tonight. I'm sorry. But yeah, you all managed to reconvene outside on the the dueling plane. Guys, we're at.
Is there anyone within earshot that would want to hear us?
Go ahead.
Overhearing us.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check, Temple. 20. Not that you're immediately aware of. Yeah, no. There are people kicking about. A couple of the servants are mulling about, tending to the plant life and cleaning down the garden area. Glancing up, you can see what looks to be the shape of Bizet in one of the windows, probably in like it looks to be a study or of the sort, kind of just looking down at you guys, but also kind of like just surveying the environment, but no one seemingly within immediate earshot.
So, what are we doing next?
Well,
how
Daddy
long
should
are
be
we
out
going
of the
to?
war room at least.
I assume the fact that we'd all congregated now assumed that there'd been some news, is there not?
No, I mean, we were just over there sparring, so really no news. I mean, my fire elemental actually listens to me now, which is great.
Got some bad news.
Okay.
And Neil suspects that we're, well, he might have been spying on us. I don't think he's getting any proof, but he's looking for proof.
Proof of what exactly?
That Coralina's friends are more than just.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, with the story we gave, Vic and I are apparently engaged, so...
No, we didn't actually tell them that. One of your sisters believes that, I think, or one of your brothers. I can't remember now. One of your other brothers, the one that hates you, thinks that there's
Yeah, that's a
something
no.
going on between.
Oh,
By the
between-
way, he's going to tell you. Sorry.
Maybe this whole charade was a bad idea after all.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just deny it.
Yeah,
You can
there's no
always deny.
proof. Say you conjured some entertainment for yourself in your.
Is it impossible to suggest that we just roll with it? It's my understanding that one of your sisters has certain habits, as you alluded
mean- Makani was still a bastard. I'm an heir. And when you promise an heir to someone else's heir, usually they want how do I put this without sounding terrible? Pristine goods.
If you don't appear damaged to me, I fail to understand.
They have similar practices in my culture. Or at least they did.
Alright, so Temple, when you promise your daughter to somebody, no other flag has been planted there. Does that make any sense?
I'm familiar with the art of conquest, but I'm failing to put two and two together here.
Does anyone else want to try?
This is
Temple,
awkward.
when two people feel very
Is there
strongly
any-
for each other.
Could you demonstrate visually for me with your hands?
No, I don't think that'll be necessary. Are you familiar with human reproduction?
Yes, lots of banging, and there's usually a cut involved. At least that has been my experience so far.
Well, you obviously understand that humans use the reproductive process not just for reproduction, but for
And that's how they bond a soul to a body to have that Warforged be created. But in, like, humanoid form.
what? Yeah, something like that. Temple.
Oh, so it's a soul bonding ritual, I understand.
Of sorts.
And I see, so Coralina's father is upset that
He would
she
be.
is would be upset if she is having a soul bonding ritual without the permission of himself or with others.
Exactly that.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
because in these cultures, Temple, sometimes, in this example, Carolina's father would expect her to be soul bonding with someone that he would prefer her to.
This is confusing. None of this at all seems to correlate with what I already understand about humanoid mating. Where do the birds and bees come into all of this?
You do birds and bees?
Well, I read one of Neftari's books, and it said something about that.
It's a good thing you corrected yourself there, because I was about to say children's books.
Jesus.
Damn. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
We use different types of clouds.
Is there going to be a baby Neftari?
Yeah, anything Coralina is holding just drops.
Drops to the floor, just. Oh, fuck, I hadn't thought of that.
And I'm just going to look at kind of switch my glance between the two of them, like.
Um,
no, that's the worst dice roll of the game. It's the loudest as well.
That was a D100, so...
Oh shit.
Why, is there going to be a litter of that number of size?
You sincerely hope not.
Like,
Oh god.
the Beast Tide have a litter, and a lot of questions, a lot of
Well,
dice
I
rolls.
mean, Coralina isn't a beast hide, so she wouldn't exactly have a litter, since, you know, she would be the one giving birth to the kids. But if that were the case, 97 is a big number.
you're gonna have to always comes out as eggs at that rate.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I think that would be more painful.
Do they have beast-hide platypi?
You don't know. Anyway, getting back on topic. Jesus Christ. Oh, I hate you guys so much.
Can I roll a history check if Genasi have bred outside of race and what that would
Go right ahead and do
produce?
so.
Genetically, at least.
Genetically, yep, go right ahead and do so. Natural 20. Yes. You're a humanoid.
Actually,
You're a humanoid, and there are a lot of other humanoid races. You all genetically are compatible, minus like the draconic races, even though they're humanoid in nature. They have different reproductive systems.
I was talking about with mixing with other races.
But but that's the thing though. You all share a similar reproductive system, so it is very possible for that to happen.
It's
that must be why.
possible, but actually by default, it depends on the gender of the female.
You know, I'm learning a lot today. This makes sense. If the draconic races can't typically soul bond with the other humanoid races, that's probably why they created the Warforged. I'm a dragon baby.
I
That
love
sounds
that
like an amazing
temple
discovery.
logic.
But no, should I reproduce with anything, including another air genasi? It would just make air genasis.
On a natural 20 though, Coralina, that's not necessarily true.
I mean, there are some instances where, you know, something odd happens, you know, genetics and whatnot. I mean, I'm not fully studied on it, but sometimes anomalies happen.
So you're saying this is a distinct possibility?
Yeah, if all the parts match up, yes. You weren't aware of the risk?
Surely, Neftari, you would know. It was your book that I was reading that taught me about birds and bees and how soul bonds happen. Although, that said, it is your book, and maybe you didn't have time to read it.
He was only looking at the pictures. Hey.
So, is that the same across all species then?
Most of them, yes, Neftari.
Look of absolute horror on Neftari's face.
Oh fuck, I could be dad to hundreds of kids. I mean, what?
Yeah, that look. Oh shit.
Let me count back. There was that one girl in that one town, and then her sister, and then there was the other girl
sister.
who was passing through.
And then there was that other one. There was the bard.
And then her cousin.
There was the bard. And then there was other people. And then there's that one other person. And there was that bard again.
Is there some way to test for this, or are we just going to have to leave this for another conversation?
I think things are complicated enough, Temple, right now.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that this is a complication that won't go away if we simply don't talk about it. Like, I can't think of a funny analogy. I'm sure there is one.
Screwing the pooch is usually a good analogy.
Yes, soul bonding with a pooch.
Oh,
No.
God. What the fuck?
This idiom makes even less sense than the others I've learned.
Moving swiftly onwards before we even remotely touch that with a barge pole, because that's just going in a completely different and disgusting direction.
Beast hide, doggy, not that different.
Mm,
No,
Anyway,
just no.
what are we doing?
What are you guys now doing? Moving
I
swiftly
guess-
onwards.
so what do we do? Do we head a nil off at the pass? Talk to Dad first before he does, or? 'Cause I
Or
mean, as
leave
soon
as fast as we can so that this never becomes a problem and proof can never be found.
that's also a viable solution.
Okay, now about the whole leaving thing.
I can do that. So
Okay,
yeah,
let's go right now. Bye.
I mean, as soon as
Temple has a point.
yeah.
Are we leaving? No.
If we're gonna be on the run,
No.
maybe yes. Actually, it might. If you were to write an impassioned and honest note for your father, knowing that he would receive it, perhaps he won't think we have kidnapped you and that you're not in danger, or maybe he won't as tenaciously pursue finding you as he otherwise would if he was at least aware that you left of your own volition.
Right. How does that letter go? Dear Daddy,
Dear
I ran
Daddy,
out of
I'll start writing
I
out
gave up-
what she's.
I'm just no. I'm just
I'm
pantomiming writing here.
I'm just pantomiming writing right here. Go on. Is that all one sentence?
Just put it down for a second.
Just
I'm at
put it
least-
down for a second. This pen has. Does anyone have a pen with ink?
I'm not going to give you one.
Victor Alice, can I use your back to write?
Yeah, just go easy on the punctuation.
Coralina, you seem dissatisfied with this plan.
Very much so.
Would you rather we just left?
Maybe we should head to a study where there's, actual
Working pens, good idea. Why, I was just using this toilet paper.
That's where all of it went. Just
As you guys have been
fine.
having this conversation, glancing around, since you guys are in the middle of that field where you all reconvened, in the middle of the open, having this conversation aloud, glancing around, there are a couple of the servants that are now just...
Do any of them have a pen?
No, none of them have pens, but like the few of them that are out like cleaning, you notice that one of them is just looking directly at you, Coralina, while kind of cleaning the same spot. They seem to have been cleaning the same spot for about the time you guys have been having this conversation. The other one that has been kind of clipping at the the plants, trimming down the plant life and getting rid of the weeds, seems to be kind of clipping at thin air as they've been listening to this conversation. Once you make eye contact with them, they immediately just turn away and pretend to be doing whatever it was they were doing.
All right, I'll just
You
get
guys
my voice
really
down.
aren't subtle. You understand that?
No, we aren't.
I thought we were in the middle of a field.
Yeah, in the middle of the field, which is surrounded by which is
Servants-
basically the garden.
servants
and
have
servants.
ears.
Yes, servants aren't
Servants
deaf.
are nosy as fuck.
Yes, they'll
Aren't-
fucking listen
aren't
to your boss
gardens-
as much as possible.
Aren't gardens where everyone plots all the things that they do?
Not necessarily,
Not
no.
necessarily.
Uh,
Coralina,
but,
can I get you to roll me another one quick perception check? Because there's one other sibling that. Oh.
5.
I'm not sure. Can you guys still see me? Sorry, my
We can't see you on the secondary webcam. You're fine
you go.
on Twitch stream, and you're back.
Okay, that was weird. I just heard a USB disconnect, so it might have just been the camera. Yeah, a 5. No, taking a quick glance around in case there was a very particular person listening in, you don't seem to spot your youngest brother.
Still put my voice down because the servants are now eyeing us. Look, whatever it is we're gonna do, we better do it soon. So, if we want to leave, we can leave. If we want to try to talk diplomacy and hopefully cut off before Anil storms in, I welcome that too, I suppose. But we need something.
If we take the diplomatic route, do we say, what could we possibly say to convince Coralina's father that we need to continue our adventure? And perhaps we could work an angle with the sibling of hers that knows potentially or has divined the destruction of
Sending.
the various realms. Perhaps we should go to them first.
No, sending.
Sending what?
No, the spell sending.
What's that?
It's how Dad
Got
gets
a
to relay.
message
It's
there?
how. Yeah, it's how Dad relays information to the generals. Nassim usually conducts it.
Hello?
Hang
hello?
on. Oh, I'm still heard.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're still hurt.
Okay, cool.
Eve, you good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I know.
long distance spell. It even covers the planes, and it depends on how familiar you are with your target.
And
To
how
give
could
that
we
information.
use that to... It's like message
Well,
then, only much...
Longer distance. It has a
Okay.
slight chance to fail, but you have to be familiar with your target. I'm his sister. How more familiar can I get?
And what do we say to him, if not go and talk to him personally? Because if this sibling of yours knows what we know, then maybe they can help, and maybe they can stall
Yep.
or provide the impassioned argument we need and can't think of right now that would permit you to leave.
Possible. I mean, Zay's usually on my side. It seems kind of impartial, but he does have a bias every now and again. So it's worth a shot. Best before Anil gets to him, though, because
Then
Daddy should be
let's
out of the
go.
war room shortly.
Yeah,
Whoa, how interesting.
let's not just disappear. Let's at least leave a message. But I think we should be making tracks as soon as we possibly can.
Okay.
All right, so where are you guys heading to?
We'll let
What, you
Coralina
want me-
lead the way.
Okay. I guess we're gonna go see if Dad's out of the war room yet. I suppose.
Okay. You,
I mean, if all else fails, just run for it. Yeah. Do we want a room where we meet up at?
The library?
Library works. Third floor.
If we're discussing an exit strategy, then we'll need to discuss it to its fruition. What do you plan on doing when we get there? A quick and dirty plane shift again, or
A quick plane shift. Yeah.
okay?
Hopefully none of my siblings catch me there to counterspell.
Yeah.
But yeah.
DM, this is something Temple would have been thinking about in his time in this kingdom/play. Is the library an appropriate getaway destination if we need to? Is it relatively central? Is it somewhere we could all gather wherever we were in the town?
It's well in the estate. It's not exactly central, but it is a distance enough away that you could all separate, regroup, and then have enough time to potentially cast plane shift before someone was there to stop you.
Okay, then library it is if we do need to get away.
Right.
Okay, agreed.
Whoever's closest to me, I can maybe dimension
Gotcha.
door. So whoever's the slowest, I just look at Temple.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe I'm necessarily any slower. However, I can't climb up walls like Neftari can, for example. I can't slip into shadow like Victoralis can. However, I
he's
can jump.
He's sneaky. He can turn into an animal and fly away. You're probably gonna get dimension doored. So just stay close.
Of course.
All right. Are you guys making your way to the war room?
Yeah.
All right. You leave the fields outside, making your way into the main foyer and through the doors leading into the grand hall, and down the other end of the hall leading into the war room, you can see Anil there pacing back and forward. As you strike your way down, kind of glances up and sees all of you before abruptly turning around and starts rattling on the war room door once again. As you guys approach, you see the door open and Nassim kind of pokes his head out. Doesn't like open it fully, but just pokes his head out. You don't hear what is said, but you do hear the abrupt slamming of the door as it shuts on Anil's face, as he just starts pacing back and forward a lot more aggressively, I'll say, as he keeps glancing over to all of you as you finally close the distance and get towards him. Kind of stops and looks to you, Coralina. I know what you've done. I'm well aware of who you are actually with, sister.
What are you talking about?
Right now,
Well, considering that there was some intimate moments had the night prior,
it is not a new link document containing.
and my brother, who was not exactly cooperative, was able to tell me of more intimate going on this morning while you were awake and outside the bedroom down the hall speaking to your warforged god.
Yeah.
Oh, it was him who brought the tea. I must thank him for that. That was delicious. Very welcome.
That being beside the matter,
in this doc.
you were occupying your god while my sister was apparently occupying your druid friend.
Really?
DM, I thought this person had left before Victoralis ever came in to meet me.
No, as when you guys were stood there after Neftari walked into his own room, Victoralis heard the sounds of footsteps walking away.
Okay.
You guys just never saw him.
What an imagination you've got there. You know your sister's a conjuration wizard, right?
I'm well aware of what school my sister is a part of.
And she's got quite
And
an
I'm pretty
imagination
sure
as well.
and I'm pretty sure my sister can speak for herself, or you'd be gonna be a coward again.
I have nothing to really say to you.
Of course you don't. That right there is an admission of guilt. I can't wait to tell our father. See the utter look of disappointment and heartbreak on his face when he finds out that his one true heir is yet another whore. So how many of these fine gentlemen have you been sleeping around with? Both of the humanoid ones? You spent a lot of time in the prime material. Is there any other bastards kicking about? It wouldn't surprise me if there was.
You seem like you
does
have
it look like I've given birth recently?
I mean, you're a conjuration wizard.
Do you think I can just conjure up a baby?
Yes.
I'm good, but not that good.
Absolutely.
So you have a lot of time on your hands.
And a grudge.
And yeah, a very unfulfilled life. You ever thought about doing something useful with it?
Maybe we could conjure you up a couple of whores.
I mean, you seem to take an interest in everyone else's business to such a degree that it makes me wonder that what's your purpose?
My purpose is to do exactly what my father wants me to do, which is to study my magic, become extremely proficient at it, and hopefully lead one of his armies to continue our claim of the Oran Plain. That's exactly what I intend to do as well, considering, well, how easily I destroyed my sister in the duel last night and your companion, who barely got a word out before I stunned his ass into oblivion.
Well, if your father is currently dealing with the issues that I suspect he may have only just learnt the gravity of, then I'm sure he'll find your skills extremely useful in the forthcoming war.
He'll
No,
learn.
but that's the thing, Prince, if you even are Prince.
No, he
will
actually
not.
is.
I don't care what you say. I won't be going to the Prime Material. I am not going to be fighting your battles for you. If what you're saying is true, if it crosses the plains, and if it makes its way to the Oran Plain, maybe I'll sling a few spells here and there to make sure it doesn't spread in our domain. But you're on your own, if you're telling the truth.
Have I lost everyone?
No.
I
still
very
heard.
brief. I lost like 10 seconds of audio.
Basically, Nil says he's not going to fight the fight unless it crosses into the
Unless it
Oran
comes to
Plain.
the Oran Plain. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Well, let's hope that you don't have to lift a finger or do anything of use. Perhaps we can stop this before it reaches you.
Yes, even if it is an issue, that will reach us.
Well, we're going to make sure it doesn't reach you.
Hmm.
Thank us later.
I don't need to thank you for shit.
You know, at dinner, you were actually really excited to go along.
That's because we were in the presence of our father, and I have to make face.
You had no trouble losing it in front of him, too.
That being beside the fact of the matter. I wouldn't help you. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you are telling the truth, if it does make its way here to the Oran Plain. I'll do whatever I can in my power to make sure it doesn't affect us.
As
I'll
long
be
as it doesn't
glad.
affect you.
Us. My family. The one that you used to be a part of before you fucked off to the Prime Material and disgraced our name. After all, you sleeping with half-bloods, as he kind of turns to you, Neftari, and kind of looks you up and down. You don't even know, do you? Dalphon will happily tell you once he's finished messing with your blood. I know exactly what he's doing. I can't wait to find out if it's true. Make telling my father oh so sweet of that his little lady has been sleeping with a demon.
So this is how you're going to get back at Coralina for...
Anything I can do to make Coralina's life miserable is something that makes my life all the better.
Even lie.
You really
Who's-
need to find a
Who's
new hobby.
lying?
There you go. Here's a girlfriend for you. I'd like to cast Conjure Animals.
I don't,
What
any
level?
animal. You're good.
What level?
Lowest level, I think, third level, something like that can do it at.
Third
The
level.
lowest level he deserves.
As you try and insult him, he just kind of snaps his fingers, and as you attempt to conjure an animal, the spell immediately dissipates. Don't try bullshit with me. You know for a fact that I'm stronger than both of you combined.
He was just going to conjure him a girlfriend. He was going to make conjure a donkey. But, oh well. Massive insult though. And if Tori just sees this guy as an absolute
Arsehole.
waste of, yeah, waste. Well, I don't think we all do.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the plan now, Coralina? You planning on trying to spin this into your way as you always did? Try and paint everyone else to be the bad guy? And then what? Run away again? Running away is just an admission of guilt. You realize that, right?
Well, in your eyes, I'm guilty of everything. So
Of course
how
you
does
are.
that?
But it's not about whether you're guilty in my eyes. It's about what I tell our father. And if you disappear, oh, I don't think you'll have the title of lady anymore, Coralina. I don't think you'd even be able to hold our surname.
So your plan is to cause difficulty to Coralina's entire life based on your assumption that she is having extramarital affairs, and no one at all is going to consider that you have a very, very well invested motive and bias, and you would gain greatly from spreading that kind of information.
But that's
Everyone
the issue.
trusts
The
you
issue that
completely.
you have, Warforged, is that it's not an assumption. It's fact. And my father would probably trust my word over the word of his estranged daughter who's been missing for 2 years, who then shows up with 3 individuals of different taste.
You clearly value your family.
No, he doesn't value his family. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing this.
Says that
He values.
said that he does. He said that he would protect them. And if there was
He
a
doesn't.
threat that came to this land and threatened all of the people of this land, this realm,
All this man is protecting
this
is his
plane,
potential
and your
birthright.
family.
Actually,
would
he
you
has no birthright.
travel?
Oh yes,
you
please
travel?
do tell me about that.
Even if my title is stripped, you'll get no birthright, Anil.
So it's purely about
Even if in the off chance father decides to ascend a bastard to the throne, Visay is the first in line.
I don't want the throne. I don't want the birthright. I just want to see you stripped down to our level. You were always Little Miss Perfect, always the one that was right, always the one that was the favorite in father's eyes when we were growing up. And
How is that her fault?
Irritated me.
Surely that's the father's fault then. Would you take it up with him?
Don't blame my father for anything. Do you understand
If he mistreated you while you were young, then surely your anger is misplaced.
My anger isn't misplaced. My mother's didn't have a choice in the matter.
Your mother wasn't arranged. Your mother was a conquest.
At this point, Vic has it's touching personal nerves now. This conversation. He puts his hood up and he walks close enough to make it as though he almost bumps in. But he's gonna put his hood up and just say, "I've had enough of talking to this moron. Try to save my family." And just start walking down to the corridor. I'm not going to go far, but I'm just going to distance myself from it before I lose my temper.
There goes one of your friends running away. Admission of guilt.
Two of them. I am charged with protecting this man. Off I go.
2 of your friends have run away. That's half an admission of guilt right there. Do you want to go and join them? Prove me right again.
From where I am, before I get out of 60 feet of range, can I conjure a pig with conjure animals 3rd level, please? I'm hoping he's not going to notice.
He notices, and with another snap of his fingers, counterspelled. Nice try. I'm watching you, all of you. I have been since you got back.
Right over.
So I'm waiting, Coralina. Are you going to stand your ground and actually grow backbone for once? Or are you going to run with your friends like a coward and prove that I'm right? Again.
About it. It is. There's
Here comes the DM.
This week's episode is sponsored by Andrex, Carex.
All right, fuck it, just going for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
You remember that story I told where she launched herself over a table?
Yes, I remember that. Are you
Going for
doing
it.
that? Okay.
Going for it. He's got a higher center of gravity. He's taller.
Go ahead and roll me an unarmed strike. Let's see if you can lunge at your taller and slightly elder brother. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I'm basically trying to not necessarily actually it's kind of a grapple as long as I can get into contact with him.
Yeah. Roll an unarmed strike. 17.
Do I go for the nose?
Yeah. Are you just punching him, or are you actually trying to tackle him to the ground?
Yeah, we'll go for the ground, and as soon as he is made contact with the ground, I'm gonna dimension door him 500 feet away with me.
Okay. Yeah. You do exactly that. You just it's slowly been
Bull
getting
rush.
to you. It's building. He's been mocking you. He's been mocking your friends. He's been saying shit about your deceased mother. Eventually you just snap. You dive forward, grab him by the cuff of his chest, and drop him to the floor before lifting him up and slamming him down. As you slam down and the dimension door opens, if you are casting it.
Yes, I am.
Yep. Dimension door out. Where are you going?
500 feet away.
500 feet where?
Outside, I guess it's 500 feet. 500 feet away. So.
Okay.
Maybe outside in the grounds, maybe. And telling him as soon as I've bull rushed Anil and about to disappear through the dimension door. Vic, throw open the doors. Oof, disappear.
High or low, please, Coralina.
Low.
Good choice. You dimension door out. It's about 500 feet away. Outside of the estate into one of the grassy plains. That's just outside of the buildings where there's a lot of vines and rocky outcrops that lead up to the main structure of the estate. And Neil just kind of pushes you off and kind of rolls over, kind of reaches into his cloak and pulls out his spell book and gets it and looks at you. He's like, now what did you just do, sister? Well,
Conjuration.
Now what's your plan now?
No problem.
You gonna try and run away?
Nah. Spellbook's open. Let's do this.
All right. Let's put my record up to 79 and 0, shall we? And once I knock your little ass out, and I take you back to my father, you confess exactly what you've done.
Did Sir Barkley go through as well?
Sir Barkley, I'd say no.
Did not. No, so Barkley's with them.
Barkley is with the others, yeah. All right, so Coralina, roll me initiative.
Yeet. Maybe I can redeem myself here.
Yeet.
Nope.
Yes, you go first.
Oh shit! Fire. Okay.
Oh shit.
So.
All right. So, I've learned my lesson from fighting Anil the first time. Let me just make sure I mark off a dimension door, so I'm not cheating. I'm going to bonus action Misty Step behind him.
Where the fuck is it? Oh, there it is. Christ. I have to find the character sheet I had for him. 2 seconds. Yeah, bonus action Misty Step behind.
Cast Polymorph.
Okay.
He needs a wisdom saving throw, please.
A wisdom saving throw. Got it. He fails. What do you polymorph him into?
Gecko, please.
Into a gecko. Yeah, alright. He's just, you disappear, kind of glances around, you kind of just tap him on the shoulder, he glances over to you, and you just snap. He just kind of hovers there for a second before flump onto the ground and as a tiny little green gecko.
Oh.
I guess that's a win. See you in 10 minutes. Dimension door back.
Okay.
All right, I pop back. I'm still a little frazzled. We got 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Ooh, what for?
Yeah,
Is
10
something
minutes.
cooking?
No, and Neil's a gecko right now.
Oh!
I'm still shaking from the adrenaline. That was amazing.
You won?
Yeah.
Ah,
So, are we going to see your brother? Or are we just going to leave?
No, we'll talk to Dad before Neil gets back. 9 minutes now.
Temple, do you want to knock on the door?
Absolutely.
Quite hard.
Sure.
So is this at the war room to speak to
Mhm.
Dad, yeah? Okay. As you knock on the door, there's walking over, you hear footsteps
This would be
approaching
a
the door.
very, very loud knock.
Yeah, and you kind of like open, like the door opens, and Nassim kind of pokes his head out. He's like, Neil, what's it? Oh, it's Coralina. You know, Father doesn't like to be
Prince
disturbed.
Victorious request instant post haste parlay with Daddy, please. Thank you. I understand, but it's very, very urgent, especially concerning the vision you told me about this morning.
Damn it! One moment. Kind of closes the door, walks away.
That was amazing. I didn't think to just brute force my way to win.
A few moments go by. Your footsteps approaching. Nassim opens the door and pokes his head out again. You're gonna have to wait. I understand that it's an urgent request and it's on the prince's behalf, but he's in the middle of speaking to his last general. If it was
How long?
He's gonna be another minute or so, and then he'll be done. He'll be up.
I've got exactly 7 minutes.
Okay.
It's post haste.
I'll let him know. Disappears and walks his way, and you actually have 8 minutes, by the way.
I lied and said 7.
As he disappears, and you begin to like shuffle, like the adrenaline is still there from actually winning against Anil.
so why do we have 7 minutes?
Because
That's how long
polymorph
polymorph
lasts
lasts.
10 minutes.
No, if I was asking Coralina.
I polymorphed him into a gecko, and that only lasts about 10 minutes.
Ah. So then
He
he's
can't do
gonna-
shit, but either he'll fly up here and rain death and destruction upon all of us, or
Ah.
or just blow the lid on this entire thing. So we need to get in before he does.
And
I mean,
if we
is there
need to
another-
shift to another plane, how quickly can you do that?
The door kind of abruptly opens quietly, and Nassim pokes his head out. He's like, "Oh, you'll have to have this conversation somewhere else, please." Your lucky father hasn't heard you.
Right.
Did you mention the staff of Carsus to your father
I've
and
mentioned-
advisors in the war room?
I've mentioned the staff classes to my father. He's aware of what it is and what it can do. He will he is willing to parlay. Right now, he's not feeling the best. I can get into contact with you through. I can get into contact with you all through sending, and we can discuss things further at a future date. But I know what you've done to our brother. If you need to go,
He kind
go
of deserved
now.
it.
When doesn't Anil deserve it?
Right, you'll just...
He's the bastard of bastards, okay? But you need to go.
Right. Okay. Well,
Because I'm aware.
I guess...
I'm aware of what you and your companion have been up to. I know the prince isn't engaged to you. Father doesn't know that, and he will continue to not know that when I defend you. But you need to go. Now.
Thank you, Nassim. I love you.
I love you too. You're welcome. Go. Kind of
Right.
closes
Link
the
up
door.
now, please. And
Straight to
I
library?
have the room code.
Or are you guys going to the library?
Or fuck it, we'll do it. Fuck it, we'll do it here.
All right.
Yeah, we just start.
Do it
walking
now!
down the
We'll do
corridor,
it live!
kind of superhero style, walking down the corridor, and then like
If we do
teleport.
it here, will the rune codes not be visible afterwards to everybody to be able to follow it?
No, because
Oh,
only
no.
the caster needs to know the rune codes in order to
And
get
I-
to a location.
So do you want the silver one? Does that one seem feasible?
Silver Drake Keep.
Yeah, I think that's the name of it. Yeah.
Been a long time.
We should go check how things are.
We should be
Look-
incredibly prepared to battle also because of what
Right.
was
Just have
happening
your
on that
just have your
continent.
sword drawn. Just join hands now, please.
Ooh, friend.
All right. Everyone's joining hands. You're plane shifting, right?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. Level. That is
7th level.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
I haven't been there yet.
DC
Why
17.
isn't the spell working yet?
Oh, no.
As you immediately begin gathering everyone together.
It's instantaneous.
It is
it's instantaneous.
instantaneous. Yes. You hear the rushing sounds of footsteps as Anil makes his way into the grand hallway, normal form, as he sees you all gathering together to plane shift. Snaps his fingers and counterspells.
Counterspell? Can I counterspell his counterspell?
You can most certainly try to.
All right. 6th level. That's all I got.
Well, I mean, it's still going to be a. I mean, you can roll it at a lower level. It doesn't actually do anything at higher levels.
It doesn't?
I
thought-
I'll have you roll it at a lower level because he's using counterspell at a level which, you're going to have to roll for it regardless. So I do
fine,
it
we'll-
at 3rd
we'll-
level because if you roll it at rolling it at 6th level, guaranteed 6th level or lower is countered. If it's higher than that, you're going to have to roll regardless. So you're going to have to roll regardless. So just roll 3rd level.
Okay. So
So you're going to have to roll
in check.
roll an intelligence check. Yes. So just using your int modifier and 15 doesn't make it. As your counterspell fails, his goes off, your plane shift cancels. Now, leaving so soon, sister.
Exactly.
Well, unfortunately for you, as cheap as your victory was,
I mean, you can't stun as a victory, so
unable to cast spells to defend yourself is a victory, so a loss is a loss, and I will admit that. I'm not one to claim I won when I definitely didn't. Even though it was no official duel, I'll still count it as a loss. But you understand that polymorphing something into a creature that is relatively weak, all it takes is a simple drop of 10 feet to drop that form and run on back. I thought you'd be well aware of that. But that doesn't matter. You're not going anywhere. Father's going to figure out what's happening, and well, you're all going to be screwed. So, why don't you all just go and take a seat just now, and in just a moment, sorry, as you watch as like a little green beam, like well, sorry, it's a green flash of light is like emits from behind Anil. His eyes widen in shock for just a moment before he just collapses to the ground. Behind him, with his arm raised, pointing to where Anil was now laid, is Dalphon. You might want to make your way out of here post haste. He's not gonna stay out for long.
Gates where it was, yeah.
Yeah, it's where it was.
Okay, let's start running. I'll rush over to Dalphon real quick and do the whole hand thing because he doesn't really contact other ways. Thank you, Dalphon.
I'm gonna miss you, Coralina. Again.
Well, Nassim has sending. He can find me.
I'll ask Nassim if I can send you messages every now and then.
Okay. All right, bye. And off we go. We're running.
You're running? Are you all running with?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll like almost like slow my pace a little bit to catch up with Temple. Grab his hand, dimension door, like 500 feet ahead.
Before we turn and run, I just look at him and say, demon? Is there a response?
There's well, I mean, from Dalphon. He kind of as you like run up past him, he like takes a couple of shuffled step backs, just looks to you. Yeah, demon.
Draws sword. Just kidding.
No, you guys are running at this point. He kind of reaches behind him and passes you the book on Beast Hide. Take care of it, please, and return it whenever you can. I'd appreciate that.
Thank you. Stay safe.
You too. And running to catch up with Coralina and the others. All right, cool. Coralina, where are you leading them to?
To the gate.
All right.
Dalphon says it should still be there.
It's still there. As you
get away music.
No, unfortunately, because the last time I put music up, I got copyright struck 3 times, so can't do that. I'm afraid. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as you make your way through the gate, it's guarded by a couple of the servants who kind of look confused as you run by close to.
Tell them then stand aside. Stand aside.
And they do. They step aside. And as you make your way through the gate, and you're probably about 50 feet away from the gate, ready to just make your way through it before Bizet steps out and blocks your path. Now, Coralina. Where are you off to now?
Anil and running and couldn't talk with Dad in time. Dolphin swooped in, saved the day. Amazing. Please make sure he gets new books. Yes.
Just slow down now. Anil.
We don't have.
Look, Anil isn't the hardiest of us all. You know that he's not.
He found out about me and the druid.
Oh. Well, that changes everything.
Dad doesn't know.
Well, well, I'm sure I can talk to our siblings to try and keep everything in your favor.
He's also probably still mad about the gecko thing, because I turned him into a gecko again. I got a win.
You won.
Yeah.
Well,
I bull rushed him.
At least now his record is tarnished.
Sorry?
Just stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. And try and get in contact with us every once in a while. We do like to know that you're alive and well out there.
I'll pick up sending as soon as I'm able.
Sure.
Good. Now, once again, I'm going to have to take the fall for this.
You tried your best, but you were overpowered by my companions.
Would you like me to trip you over? Or bloody your nose?
You know what? Yeah, that would be a good idea. Right here.
At this
please.
point, can I just at this point go, we don't have time for this, and just smack him across the nose with my bow?
Yeah? Go ahead and roll me a d10. It's just, we don't have time for this. Whack! He takes 6 points of damage as you bust your bow across his nose. He just stumbles back and drops to his knees. Just, you could have warned me first.
Temple hit's a lot harder than that. Come on, let's go. And I'm going to start moving forward again.
I'll send you a Ruko if you want to come visit. Okay, just you though. Bye.
A pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Ow! As you make your way to the gate now, Coralina. Ooh, I'm gonna need you to call high or low, please.
Low.
Okay. And high or low once again, please.
Low again.
All right. Odds are even.
Odd.
Wrong. As you all step.
Even though I've memorized that rune code.
You're using a gate. Gates are random, remember?
Gates are random. I thought my dad was able to manipulate one.
Yeah, you're not your dad.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, your dad is able to manipulate gates to be a lot more precise. Gates are random.
All right, here we go.
As you
guys want a way out? This is a way out.
So are you guys all wanting to step through, even though I've just told you it's random and...
Well, no, we'd be running at this point, so I don't think we'd care.
This won't be the first time
all right,
being teleported
cool.
to the wrong place.
I think Vic would certainly assume that Coralina knew what was happening and just be like, right, let's get the fuck out of here and just keep running.
Yeah,
TPK through that gate.
As you guys jump through, the gate at terminal velocity, you take 365 points of bludgeoning damage. No, I'm fucking. I remember that episode of Critical Role is fucking Keyleth takes a 1,000-foot cliff dive off of and crack and just scatters across the rock face. No, as
I'll
you
change
step,
it to a goldfish because that'll help.
that'll definitely help. But as you step through the gate, you feel immense pressure over all of your forms, squeezing you in for just a few moments as an intense wind blows across your face, hair whipping all over the place. You can't open your mouth. That feeling of air rushing at your lungs, just almost suffocating you for just a few moments before everything goes pitch black as you all drop to the ground. Solid ground. It's quite damp. You can hear the sound of running water dripping and sound of bats screeching in the distance. Don't you dare say it.
I like this place.
That was a way to say, don't you fucking dare.
Okay, not quite the opulent palace.
I forgot to mention gates are random, but this is a way out, so
Random in respect to the plane they're on, or
it could spit us out anywhere in a sense.
Inside of a mountain.
actually anywhere. So we don't know what plane we're on, and we don't know where we are.
In space.
We
Well,
can
we
always
see.
look around, I suppose.
yeah, I'm gonna try and see if those things are actually bats.
Yeah, you've got dark vision, don't you, Vic?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you
60 feet, yeah.
as you look up, it takes you a couple of minutes for your eyes to actually adjust to the darkness, so you can see in the shades of grey. But yes, there are several giant bats. They're not just normal bats; they're giant bats. They're massive, but they are swooping up and above at the roof of what looks to be a very natural cave-like structure. Stalagmites and stalactites all over the place.
Well, does this seem prime material to you?
Well, they seem like giant bats that I've seen before, and they look like normal rocks, and it feels like we've got normal weight on the ground. I'm hoping so.
Alright, I guess the only way we have to get out of this cave then. Or,
Yeah.
just rest here and sleep for a night, and then I can plane shift again and then make sure we're there.
Much as I admire these wonderful creatures, I don't think we'd be too safe making camp in here.
I mean, I've got a tiny hut if that helps.
Should we make some light? See if we can find a way out of here first.
Yeah, sure. I don't do that though.
I've got something for this somewhere.
I'll be rummaging around for a torch and a flint.
Make sword bright.
Maybe we don't want to cast light and attract too much attention to ourselves.
I can't see in the dark, so I don't really have much of a luxury of being able to do without
Oh,
light.
I can help with that, Temple. I'll feel around for him because I can't see in the dark either.
Okay.
Do I find Temple? Do you want me to roll to see who I'm groping for in the dark?
Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
roll me a d3.
Okay.
I'm pretty good in the dark.
Yeah, I can see in the dark.
Unspell.
As you come across a very familiar feeling body as you start to grope up Nithari.
Oh, but he's warm. That's not Temple.
Not now. Hello.
I
It's so dark, nobody can see what we're doing in the dark.
I can see what you're doing in the dark, Neftari.
right. Definitely not Temple.
Temple's over there. Move to
Okay.
your right a little.
Thank you. I'll have contact with Temple and cast
User
Dark
joined your
Vision.
channel.
Okay. What level are you casting it at?
It's a 2nd level spell. It lasts for 8 hours.
Microphone muted.
Okay. And is it just on one person or?
It's just one person, but I could also cast it on myself because it's not a concentration spell. So, fuck it.
Sound muted.
Let's do both. Let's blow 2 spell slots at once.
What's that dark vision spell?
Yeah, we can. Temple and I
Hey,
can basically
wake
see in
up.
the dark for 8 hours.
Okay.
Oh, my dark vision is 60 foot.
Yeah, no, it's for her and Temple,
User left your channel.
right?
Because we can't see in the dark.
Yeah. So it's to let her and Temple see in the dark. Yeah. So as you touch, it is just it's just normal dark vision. So again, it's just in shades of gray, different shades of gray. As Temple, you can now see in the darkness. You can all see the natural formation as you look around. Everyone, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
It's a good job you have this spell, Coralina, because I did not have the daylight spell.
Right.
I appreciate your
just still getting
enthusiasm,
over it.
Evelyn, but it needs to be not caps lock.
What?
You've got caps lock
you have
on.
caps lock on.
I appreciate the
Check
enthusiasm.
perception!
There we go. That's better.
I'm still embarrassed over like the whole thing about Vic saying I can see what you're doing in the dark.
22, 9, 29, 18.
Look,
You
I
should have
honestly
said it in
didn't mean it.
I can see what you're doing in the dark.
I can see what you're doing in the dark. No, as you guys are glancing around, Coralina, you're just like, oh my fucking god, he didn't just suggest something like that in front of the others. Neftari,
Vic
Victorious,
thinks he's an exhibitionist.
Neftari, Victorious, and Temple, as you guys kind of glance around and gather your surroundings, you can see what looks to be a gentle kind of white light flowing from the one end of the cave that seems to be having a gradual gradient upwards. It's just a flat white light, and as you look towards it, you can feel every so often a freezing, like a biting cold gust of wind flows down and crosses your face as you turn in that direction. It's not like a steady flow. It's just once every 5 or 6 seconds, it's just a sudden gust of biting cold wind.
Got a feeling it's going to be a little bit on the cold side out there.
Fuck.
But then it can't be that bad. These giant bats wouldn't be here.
All right, I can deal with a little bit chilly.
Well, Natara, you kind of got your own natural fur anyway.
Kind of very.
Temple, do you feel cold?
I do have a perception of cold, yes,
Look,
and I can be harmed by its effects.
But weather-wise, if it is cold out there, that won't detrimentally affect you in any way.
It won't exhaust me or anything like that, no. But I can be taking damage.
Alright, so what's
I'll
the
do what
plan,
I
guys?
can.
What's happened? We've
I'm-
realised it's very cold. That is.
Yeah.
We're gonna
once
head out
something-
towards that light.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm gonna put my,
Yeah,
get my
kind of
my nice winter coat all night.
pull it up close,
Toughen
get it nice and tight, and make sure you're nice and warm as you're progressing onwards. You guys heading towards the
I
the
guess we gotta
light?
head towards- We're heading towards the light.
All right. As you guys make your way up, the biting cold blasts of wind kind of flowing over you every so often. The
Hold on.
cave seems to like it's wide enough for all of you to like not walk side by side, but you're comfortable as you're walking through, avoiding like these stalagmites and the stalactites that are kind of dropping down on towards you.
Let me do this.
As you make your way down, it's about 15-20 minutes later. You step out into what looks to be a large open cavern in this cave system. The light is looking up. There is an open fissure where there is this brilliant white light streaming in
assuming they
toward,
are.
like in above, giving off the illumination. I want all four of you to roll me perception checks, please.
Still embarrassed.
I need this very quickly because I need to check the stats. Something. Back. Oh, one more page. There it is. Let me bring up the dice tray here.
I have inadvertently rolled twice,
Uh,
so first counts.
yeah. So 8, 19, 13, 9. Yeah, no, the only one that really notices this is Neftari with the 19, but with a oh, that's a 32. Fuck. As you're as the three were kind of looking up, like, yes, exit. We have a means of getting out of here. Neftari, you're looking up before there's another bite of wind that strikes your face, which is much more intense than what it was as you were heading through the cave. And you kind of glance down, and before you there are two globes of brilliant white in the darkness staring out to you.
And change the E in that drop.
Two eyes.
Two globes of brilliant white. That is it.
I don't know what they are, and I don't know if it's something watching us. But there's something else.
May reboot.
In what direction?
Up there.
As he points it out to you all, you all see the same globes of brilliant white just staring directly at you all. It's probably a good 50 feet above you all, staring down at you all.
Is it blocking the opening? Or at least like
It's
in the way of
not
the
blocking,
opening?
but it is whatever it is between you and your means of escape.
Is this where the cold air seems to be coming from?
As you kind of glance up to it, the blast of biting cold, its frequency increases, and it seems to be coming from whatever it is that is staring at you.
Do you think
Have I
this might not be the prime material after all?
I would like you all to make me one
Yeah.
more perception check, please.
Mostly just with the change.
Yep. Still totally trying to figure out if Neftari is a closet exhibition.
On the 16, 24, and 24, as you guys glance around, you can see that as your vision begins to focus out to the 60 feet, the stalagmites and stalactites, they're all completely frozen. The water it's not water, it's ice, just sheets of it flowing up and down the walls, across the floor. And as you and Victorless and Temple, as you continue to look around, you can see what looks to be frozen skeletons of different races scattered around. Before there's a crunch and another crunch. And as you guys look up to the globes of pure white, a white, scaled, draconic face kind of pierces through the light, looking at you all. And Victorless, you in particular hear it.
Be New York.
Food, venture to my den. Delicious. As it begins to drop down, I would like you all to roll me. What would this be? Investigation checks as you all look up to this creature. This very big,
I might know what it is.
white-scaled dragon.
It's getting pretty bad here.
Coralina and Victorious.
They're all
You
right in
almost
there.
immediately recognize this. This isn't just any white-scaled dragon.
I mean,
This is an ancient white-scaled dragon before you all.
Oh, fuck. Fuck.
And that's where we're going to
fuck,
call it for tonight.
Fuck.
All
Alright.
Oh my god.
So
good
we
job
went
we've got
out
all
of
aspects,
one frying.
We
Oh. So
went out
frying
of
pan
one frying pan.
into fire, into bigger fire,
Mm-hmm.
into inferno. Well, frozen.
And then jumped into
inferno.
a
Frozen
massive
Inferno.
frozen lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the chain of events of today's session has gone from okay to oh shit to oh fuck to oh fuck to
I like to imagine a DM's got in front of him a list on the internet or something that says 199 problems and one that ain't a problem, and it's 99 horrible places to be teleported. And there's one nice place at the bottom, like a mattress factory or something.
I was rolling like high or low initially was to see whether or not you guys made it to the prime material. Wrong.
In the VPN.
Sorry.
And then had you call high or low as to whether or not you would stay on the elemental planes. Wrong. And then the odd and even was to determine whether you were above or below ground, where you popped out on this different plane of existence, and you were wrong. Well, you weren't wrong. You were just you were wrong, but you were unlucky. So you are now where you are.
Underground. On a non-elemental plane.
In a non-elemental plane of existence. That's not the prime material.
Prime material.
That isn't the prime material. That is home to the lair of an ancient white dragon.
We fought an ancient dragon once, and it fried us all in
It
one
kicked
move.
your asses, yes.
Right.
Those draconic language lessons are becoming in handy now, Temple.
Yes, hopefully I'll be able to.
You understood like one or two words of that, Temple, but
Do you remember?
He said food, and I'm thinking.
Where is the swimming pool? How do I get to the post office?
I'll say to him, please don't eat us. But I roll so badly that the words come out perfectly as a seduction.
I am a
I try and get as a level 20.
No.
I've been waiting for you, darling.
Oh yes, eat me, daddy. I can't believe I just said that. Fuck! I was going. Excuse me. I'm going to go grab a knife and commit Sudoku.
On Twitch, clip that now.
Don't you fucking dare! I'm. Oh, that's.
It's getting clipped.
You know what?
Are you clipping it?
I'll take the VOD.
I'm just gonna make a note.
No. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to clip the VOD. I'll clip it. I'll download it. I'll rip the audio, and that'll be my new subscription sound.
Yes.
Oh God! I fucking.
Jesus.
I said that. I can't take it back. It's on the internet now.
It's on the internet.
I don't have a knife nearby. I can't commit Sudoku.
Sudoku.
Well, on a positive, if we somehow end up either befriending it, we might have Dragon Friend, maybe. On another plus, if we're very, very, very lucky and we kill it, dragons have loot.
And worst case
Lots of
scenario, we
loot.
just plane shift. We plane shift into a bigger dragon.
I mean, you can't.
I don't have plane shift.
An ancient dragon appears.
I mean,
Turns out we just apparate
I
into
mean, I'm
Tiamat's
pretty
like
sure. Right. Okay, we're gonna
Just straight into it.
we're gonna metagame here slightly because I just want to confirm something. I mean, I'm breaking my own rules here, but I'm pretty sure. What is that?
Didn't think we could. It's pretty much impossible to win against an ancient gold dragon unless we're all level 20 or
But
so.
we-
isn't
we-
it? Surely.
We teleport into this dragon's dad. It was even bigger.
Yeah, no, I'm right. No.
Got a bit
Okay.
of
There's
sway when it
here,
comes to
here's here's the thing, right? Let me get back to the page because I've gone off of it. Gold. Because you guys went up against an ancient gold dragon, right? Ancient gold dragon is CR24 when you guys were level 9. I think you guys were at the time. I can't remember what level you guys were,
If
but
we were
essentially,
level 9, we
like, yeah, you guys
probably
were like.
before that.
Sorry.
We're probably lower level than that. I would have
Yeah,
thought.
probably lower than that. But an ancient gold dragon is CR24, right? Let me ancient. Let me actually build the encounter right now, and let's see how. Wait, why does it not have white? Okay, that's weird. There's no white dragon on D&D Beyond.
So you just
Should be
gonna have
on
an
roll
adult
20.
white dragon?
No, there it is. There it is, finally. Add that to it. There you go. No, it's on D&D Beyond. It just wasn't showing up on the monster list. But yeah, like, you guys are... so that was... You guys are now 13th level. There's now only... oh, yeah, I need to remove that character. Because she's not there anymore. Yeah, this is still going to be a deadly encounter. But this thing's only a CR20. Like 4 points of 4 points in CR is a massive difference. And I mean massive difference. It's going to be fucking difficult for you guys. But it's doable. It's only a 4 CR difference between an ancient gold and an ancient white, but you guys have got like an additional 7 or 8 levels since then. You guys
And
are
now we've
a
got
lot,
Cole.
you're a lot
still
better
got,
equipped.
Got a dragon slaying sword.
Who has that?
I have.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one you take it out and then anyone of draconic in nature just like shudders?
Oh
I
yeah,
got
you
a
do.
do.
dragon slayer longsword.
Yeah, you do actually. Yeah, I see
Yeet.
that.
Chuck
Neat.
that over to temple straight away.
Right. Well, anyway, we are going to call that there. Enough metagaming as we call an end to the session. So the reason that the VODs haven't really gone up to the YouTube is because my schedule's been thrown way out of line, because essentially what I would do was, after the session ends on the Monday, I'd go to work, come home, download, and begin editing everything together. And then leave it to render overnight on Tuesday, because 9 times out of 10 I'd be opening the shop the next day. So I'd leave it to render, and then when I got home it would be finished, so then I can upload it on Tuesday night, or upload it on the Wednesday when I go away to work. So over those 3 days it's fine, but because I've not had work to go to, I've been sleeping in until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon most days. But that is because I don't sleep. I'm not lazy, I just haven't been able to sleep a lot recently. So that's why the VODs haven't been uploading, but this next week I am going to be going out of my way to make sure that everything is caught up and up to date on the YouTube, so that everything's there for everyone to get caught up on. But anyway, once again, we thank you all for tuning in and sticking through this nightmare of a session as we go from one
What?
level
That bad?
well,
bad
for
to
you,
worse,
yeah, it's gone from
worse.
bad to worse to even
Just-
worse to a little bit better to oh shit, we're all gonna die.
You forgot an extra oh shit when we all thought about the fact that one of our party members might be pregnant.
Well, there's that oh shit as well. Yeah, there was that oh shit as well. You guys don't know that though. Only I do. But anyway, again, we do hope you all enjoy the rest of your time off. If you're in isolation or if you're in lockdown, again, just make sure to adhere to social distancing. Make sure that you're all being fair to everyone. And as Kayla says,
wash your goddamn hands.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hope you have enjoyed tonight's session, and we will catch you all next week. Goodbye.
All right,
Bye.
bye.